Welcome back to Gentle Yoga. I'm Kristen. Thank you all for joining me today. I'm offering this from Olympia, so blessings to wherever you are. This is a gentle yoga class. I consider this a level 1 class, and abilities and flexibilities, so please take it to your own level, making modifications and variations as needed so your body is most comfortable, and always taking it to the pace and rhythm that feels best to your body. We will be using some blocks and a strap today, so if you happen to have those props available, if you wouldn't mind grabbing those. And if not, that's all good. We will offer variations without props. So we will start with some breathwork and meditation. And while you're doing the breathwork and meditation, I'm going to offer some sound healing. And then we'll move into our asana practice. I would like to start with the tribal land statement. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we gather today on the ancestral homelands of the Coast Salish peoples who have lived in the Salish Sea Basin throughout San Juan Islands and the North Cascades watershed from time immemorial. Please join me in expressing our deepest gratitude and respect for our Indigenous neighbors, for their enduring care and the protection of our sacred lands and shared waterways. All right, so you decide, we're going to start our asana practice on our backs, but you can decide if you would like to be, if you want to stay seated for the meditation and the breath work. So just take a moment to check in with your body, see if there's anything that you need. If you're going to stay seated, you may want to sit upon a blanket or a cushion of some sort so that your knees are a little bit lower than your hips. If you're coming onto your back, your legs can be extended to the floor, your knees could be bent. You could prop something underneath your knees for support of the low back. So just take some time to make adjustments and movements as we settle here into this present moment. Let's just take some time to arrive to the breath, beginning to connect to your own rhythm. Sensing that expansion and release of the inhale and the exhale. With each inhalation, begin to invite a sense of relaxation to flow into the body, mind, and the heart. And with each exhalation, relaxing, releasing, letting the morning go as we settle into here and now. Close your eyes if that's okay, or just focusing on a stationary point in the room that you're in. And as thoughts arrive to the mind, just greet your thought, let it pass, and then return your attention back to your inhalation. And there's days that we have 50 to 60,000 thoughts in the day, so that requires discipline and dedication to redirect the mind and the thought patterns. So over and over again, as thoughts arise, just greet it, let it pass, and come back to the inhale. Continuing to sense and notice the rhythm of your own breath. Relax the muscles in your face, release the jaw, soften the tongue and the throat, relax any tension in the shoulders and the neck, softening every part of your back body, release the hips, relax the glutes, softening as best as you can any tension in the body, letting it release with each exhalation. And from here we'll work closer with the breath, moving into a pranayama exercise. We're going to invite our exhalation to be 2 counts longer than our inhalation. So we're going to inhale for a count of 3 and exhale for a count of 5. And if that's too much of a stretch, if it really is an effort to get to that 5, then start with a 2 and a 4. And then as you continue to work with the breath, it'll shift and lengthen, and then you can continue on to 3 and 5 or 4 and 6. And if you have a clear nasal passage today, working with your breath in and out the nose, I'm going to do a couple rounds with you, and then you can continue to work with this breath on your own. So make any adjustments so you can be more comfortable. If you're seated, finding again that nice tall spine. If you're lying on your back, relaxing and releasing where you can. We'll begin together, inhaling for a count of 3. Exhale for a count of 5. Inhale 3. Exhale 5. Inhale 3. Exhale 5. Inhale 3. Exhale 5. Continue in this way. Count the breath in your mind. 1 through 3 as you take a breath in. 1 through 5 as you take a breath out. We'll incorporate this breath for 2 minutes. Stay with the breath. Inhale 3, exhale 5. Three more rounds of this breath. Inhale 3, exhale 5. With your next exhalation, we'll release the meditation. Once again, coming back to the breath. Releasing the breath work. And now we'll move into the meditation. On your inhalation, mentally affirm, I am. And on your exhalation, mentally affirm, filled with peace. Other thoughts may come to the mind, letting them pass, and coming back to the meditation. I am filled with peace. For 2 minutes. rounds of breath with the meditation. And with your next exhalation, we'll release a meditation. Once again, coming back to the breath. Take a moment to sense any changes in the body or the mind. From here, let's take the hands to the heart center in Anjali mudra. Bow slightly to the hands, bowing to yourself. Taking time to honor yourself for being here this afternoon. Taking time out for self-care, health and wellness. And letting this time be a gift and opportunity to consciously and positively connect to your body and breath. And may this energy, awareness, ripple out into the universe, offering peace, calm, and groundedness to all beings on the planet. We'll slowly begin to release. So let's just extend the legs out in front. If you stayed seated for your meditation, just extend the legs out and shake out your knees a little bit. And if you were on your back for the meditation, same thing, just extend your legs out in front, shake out the legs a little bit. And then if you stayed seated, let's join our friends on our backs. We're going to begin our asana practice on our back. So again, let's extend the legs out long, reach the arms overhead, come into a full body stretch, reaching from tips of toes to tips of fingers, yawning, releasing, letting go. Good, and then take your arms out to a T, palms will face the floor. Keep your shoulder blades connected to the floor or your mat, whatever's underneath them. And then release your feet out wider than your hips. If you're on a yoga mat, out towards the side edges of your mat. And we're just going to begin to sway our legs side to side. Let's just keep the head forward for now. Slowly beginning to awaken the low back and the sacrum. And this is giving a nice massage to the multifidi muscles that are at the low back over the sacrum. You can inhale the legs to one side and exhale to the other. And now we'll move into a little twist flow. So as your legs land over to your left side, gaze towards your right hand. And then exhale, legs will land to the right side as you gaze to the left hand. Inhale and exhale. So you could inhale to one side and exhale to the other, or you could inhale to center and then exhale as you shift into your twist. Okay, so see which variation feels good to you. I'm going to go for the full inhale to one side and exhale to the other. Let's see what feels good to you. Remember to create that pace and rhythm that feels best to your body. Good, a couple more to each side. Moving with your breath. Good, the next time your legs land over to your right side, let's release them to the floor, gazing towards the left hand or the opposite direction of your knees. And just try to allow the weight of your legs to release towards gravity. If this is uncomfortable for any reason, prop something underneath the knees or in between the knees to offset any discomfort in knees, hips, or low back. 2 more breaths. Inhale, head and knees back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Legs to the left as you gaze to the right hand. Again, using support between or underneath the low knee if you need to. Try to just allow the weight of the legs to relax towards the earth. You can even feel a stretch in your psoas muscle on that right side. Feeling that all the way deep into the psoas. 2 more lovely breaths. And inhale back to center. So keep the knees bent, bring your feet to hips distance apart, so align the ankles below the knees. Arms will just be alongside your body, palms facing the floor. Pelvic tilts, working more with those multifidi muscles, and also a simple way to strengthen our transversus abdominal muscles, the low belly muscles, our pelvic tilts. So we're going to start by pressing our very low back into the mat. That'll cause the pelvis to tilt up towards our head or the top of our mat. And then inhale as you tilt the pelvis away from your body. You'll create a little space between your back and the floor. And you can even stick your hand under there to see and notice that space. And then with your next exhale, then press the low back into the mat. You'll sense the core muscles engage. Inhale, tilt away from the body. So we're not lifting the body off the floor like we do in bridge pose. My whole body's still connected. I'm just tilting forward and back with the pelvis. And you'll notice the tiny micro movements of the skull and chin as you tilt back and forth. Good, a couple more in each direction. Again, helping also with low back stabilization, so make sure you're getting some core work in each day or at least a couple times a week. Good, and then just rest the pelvis. Take a resting breath here, big breath in. Now with your next inhalation, take the right knee towards the right shoulder, coming into Apanasana pose. So you can interlace with your hands or your strap or a towel or a blanket across the top of the knee or underneath the knee along the hamstrings. And if you don't want to interlace, you simply can just align that knee with the shoulder and just keep your arms alongside your body. So see what feels good to you. You might like a little tuck of the chin towards your chest to lengthen out the cervical spine towards the floor. And then we'll come to our left side. So you can just keep that left knee bent. You could let that left knee fall out to the side as you roll to the outer edge of your left foot, a little abductor stretch there, or you could extend your leg all the way to the floor. If you're going to work with that extension, I suggest that you flex the foot so that we engage the muscles on the left side, just to keep that nice foundation. So right knee is aligning with right shoulder, left foot is flexed, shoulder blades sinking into the earth, the weight of my skull is sinking into the floor. So make modifications and variations so your body's comfortable, and then begin to send some nice deep breaths into your right hip. Relax the face, release the jaw. 2 more breaths here, Apanasana. All right, ankle circles, starting in a clockwise position. We'll move into a little hamstring flow, and then we're going to hold a hamstring stretch, reverse direction. So just if you're wanting to have some kind of prop for support for that hamstring stretch, just make sure to grab something. All right, release the ankle circles, and now we're going to do a hamstring flow before we hold. So inhale as you extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. And then exhale as you bend that knee back towards the chest. Inhale as you extend that leg up towards the ceiling. And exhale as you bend that knee back towards the chest. Again, inhale, extending that leg up towards the ceiling. And exhale, taking that knee back to Apanasana. Okay, 2 more flows. Good, take that knee back to Apanasana and then grab a prop if you have one. I'm going to show it with a strap first and then I'll show without. So if you have a strap, take it across the ball or the center of your foot and extend your leg up towards the ceiling with a nice micro bend in the knee to start. Okay, if you don't happen to have a strap, then you're just going to extend your leg up towards the ceiling, and you can interlace behind the thigh or the calf. Avoid right behind the knee. Okay, I'm going to go back to the strap variation. So everyone will align your ankle and your knee over your hip. And so what I do is I just release my leg a little bit away from my body, and that way the joint structures kind of lie nicely on top of each other. Now here with our right leg extension, we're potentially creating imbalance in our sacrum, and so a little isometric stretch on the right side of your sacrum, taking that back towards the floor. So as we reach up with that foot, you still want to anchor that right side of your sacrum towards the mat and towards the earth. And then just see where you want your arms. Do you want your arms extended up the strap or down on the floor, down the strap? Checking in with that knee, make sure there's a little bend. And again, you don't even need to interlace if you don't have a strap or don't want to interlace. You're just simply extending your leg towards the ceiling. 2 more lovely breaths here. Begin to notice that lengthening in the back of the leg. Lengthening our hamstrings is also going to support low back stabilization. So if you tend towards any low back discomfort, lengthen hamstrings, lengthen and release and strengthen in your glutes, and then also strengthen in your core. Those 3 areas, just pull and tug on that sacrum at the back of the pelvis, and so that just can cause some discomfort. All right, 1 more breath here. And then release your strap. We'll point the left toes if you have a strap on, the right toes, and then exhale, lower that leg to the floor.
Let's take a resting, integrating breath here. Big breath in. And then let's take, you can just release the strap to the belly or to the side for now until we get to that point on our other side. Take your right foot to the mat and then your left foot to the mat. So both knees are bent, ankles are below your knees. Take a resting, integrating breath here. Big breath in. Good, and with your next inhalation, take the left knee towards the left shoulder. So we're going to do all of that on the other side. Apanasana to the other side. Our bodies are balanced in different ways, so this hip might be a little bit tighter. If so, maybe you interlace along the hamstrings, or again, you don't need to interlace at all. I like to align the knee with the shoulder just to help out the hip flexor a little bit. So see what you need for support on this side. Notice your chin if you'd like to lengthen out the cervical spine to the floor. And then which variation do you want on your right knee? Your right leg, do you want that knee bent? Is that leg going to experience an abductor stretch? Are we going to flex that foot with leg extension? So find your Apanasana best on this side. And then once you get settled, return your attention back towards your breath. 4 more nice deep breaths down into that lovely left hip. And with your next exhalation, releasing into ankle circles, counterclockwise position. And reverse directions, opposite way. Good, and release. We'll start with our hamstring flow. So inhale as you extend that leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you take that knee back towards the shoulder. Inhale, leg extension. Exhale, release. Good, two more here. Inhale with that extension. Last one here with the flow. Good. And now we'll move into the hamstring stretch on the left side. So interlacing behind thigh or knee if you don't have a strap, or take a strap across the ball or center of your foot and extend that leg towards the ceiling. Try to align the joint structures on top of each other as you keep a little micro bend in the knee. Taking that left side of your sacrum back towards the floor for a little isometric stretch so we can create some symmetry at the sacrum. And then breathing. I still have a flexion in my right foot. Begin to notice the lengthening in the back of the leg. Three more breaths. Good. Release. We'll take that strap, releasing the prop. If you have one, point those left toes. Exhale as you lower that leg to the floor. You can release your strap to the side. We're going to take now the knees into the chest. Take a hand to each knee if you'd like. We're going to make circles with the knees, moving them in the same direction. And the next time the knees come towards the body, reverse directions, opposite way. You could just also have your arms alongside your body, palms to the floor. I'm going to move into doing some abdominal strengthening. Now that our hips are a little more open, I need to grab my back a second. Okay, so keep your knees into your chest. We're going to do some abdominal work here. So here this focus is going to be more on the oblique, so in between the ribs and the side abdominals. And so extend the arms out to a T. Palms are going to stay, take this off. Palms will stay connected to the floor. Okay, and so we're going to take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to begin to lower the legs to the right side as we look to the left. And just before the legs touch the floor, we're going to inhale, head and knees back to center. Exhale, legs will land towards the left side as I gaze towards my right hand. And then inhale back to center, right before they touch the floor. So we're going to go side to side a few more times. Now what I'm doing on my opposite side is I'm really rooting that shoulder blade, that elbow, that palm, and those fingertips, so that I'm anchoring as I move into the twist. Good, one more to each side. All right, come back to center, and now we'll take the arms alongside the body, palms to the floor. Keep the legs in the air. We're gonna have it so that the calves are parallel to the floor. And all we're gonna do here is release our tiptoes down to the floor. So left tiptoes, and then raise, right tiptoes, and then raise back into the air. So super simple movement and exercise. This is getting rectus abdominis and transverse abdominis, and a little bit into the obliques. I actually learned this from a PT and a yoga teacher after she had back surgery, and so this is a super simple exercise, but it is really working a great deal of the abdominal muscles. So again, let 2021 be the year you get into the abdominal strengthening. All right, let's do one more on each side here, and then we're gonna rest for a moment. So let's take the knees into the chest. Take some nice deep breaths into the belly. You're welcome to rock elbow to elbow if that would feel good to you. You can also turn the head side to side. We're going to do a couple more movements and then we'll move up to seated. All right, bring your head back to center. Take your legs back to that original position so your calves are parallel to the floor. So you're going to just do the same thing. If you want to take it a step further, you're going to extend your leg fully so that your heel comes to the floor and then take it back into the air. So I've got my right leg extended, my heel touches the floor, and I bring my calf back into the air. So it just is taking it a little step further. Again, this isn't necessary. You can just do, again, the tiptoes. Keep grabbing that curtain. All right, one more to each side. Yay for strong bodies. Knees come back into the chest, rocking elbow to elbow. That is my word for this year, is strength. Excited about that. All right, back to center, and then rock the knees forward and back. Just giving those multifidi muscles one last little massage. And then we're going to shift into bridge pose to hold, counter stretch the core muscles, give another strengthening to the glutes and the legs, and then we'll transition up to seated. So, ankles are below your knees. Elbows are going to bend. The arms are going to bend at the elbows. We're going to make fists with the hands. We're going to press down into the floor with our fists and our elbows. So I'm pressing down into the earth. I'm pressing down into the earth with my feet and my toes. We're going to lift up into bridge. Don't turn your head to either side once you're in bridge, just to protect cervical spine. And you're going to hold. We're going to hold for 5 to 7 breaths. Now, if coming into full bridge all the way up to the shoulders is too much, then you can work with half bridge. I'm going to show you half bridge. So this is just, I basically only have my sacrum off the floor. My low back is still on the floor. I don't know if you can see much. Okay, here's a little bit of a deeper bridge. I'm just going to push up a little bit more. So as I'm pushing up, I'm pushing up from my feet, my toes, my elbows, pushing away from the earth as I lift belly button to the sky. So keep that engagement, keep the glutes engaged, keep the legs engaged, the core is engaged. 2 more strengthening breaths. Good. Exhale, release. Knees come back to the chest. Holding steady here. This time let's move the head side to side to release a little bit in the neck. And then roll the legs to one side. And we'll help ourselves up to seat. Arms will be face down on the knees, and we're just going to make simple circles with the torso. Circling up towards your feet and rounding back towards your hips. Moving as fast or as slow as feels good to you. I'm going a little bit faster. Next time you come towards your feet, reverse directions, opposite way. Back to center. Side bend flow. Take the right hand to the floor. We'll inhale and exhale, left arm overhead, hinging to the side. Keep both sits bones rooted to the earth. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the other side. So I take my arms to a T as I come to center. You don't need to do that if that doesn't feel natural in your flow. Opening side waist and side body.
exhale. Next time you come on your left side, let's hold there together for several breaths. So try to soften that top shoulder away from your ear, rooting both sits bones to the mat. Doesn't matter how far you're reaching out with your hand here. You want to feel a stretch in the side waist and the side body. Inhale, return to center. Exhale over to the other side. Deep, sweet breaths here. Inhale back to center. Exhale, walk the hands out in front for a simple seated forward fold. So arms can just be extended from your body. You could come down to your elbows. You could come all the way down to the floor. You could stack a couple fists on top of each other to rest the forehead. So we're gonna let the body take shape of the pose here. Let the shoulders round, let the head hang. We do wanna keep our sits bones connected to the floor rather than lifting your buttocks off the mat. So keep sits bones rooted and then begin to soften and relax in your hips and your glutes. 4 more nice deep breaths. Good, one last full breath. And then begin to walk the hands back towards the body. Let's extend the legs out, shake out your knees a little bit. And then take your left sole of your foot to the floor. We're gonna do a twist. We've got the right leg is still extended. I've got a flexion in my right foot. I'm gonna take my I'm mirroring you, so I'm saying opposite of what I'm doing. This one gets tricky. I'm gonna take my left elbow to the inner part of my right knee. Is that right? Sorry. Well, you can mirror what I'm doing. Okay, opposite. So left and left. Left elbow into left knee. Right foot is flexed with an extended leg. And then take your right hand and travel that back behind you. So my left elbow and my left knee are pressing in towards each other to create a little bit of tension. And then I'm going to look over my right shoulder. Good. Exhale back to center. Now we'll just go to the other side. Take your right elbow to the other part of that left knee. Left arm comes in front, and then we'll twist over to the other side. Still left elbow pressing in, left knee pressing into right elbow. Back to center. Extend both legs, shake out the knees. I'm going to do this direction just for opposite. Okay, so switching sides. Now we've got our right knee is bent. Take your right elbow to the inner part of the right knee. Left arm comes in front, and then we'll let that left arm travel back behind us, twisting towards your left side. So again, elbow and knee are pressing in towards each other, and then left leg is extended with a flexed foot. Nice deep breaths. Good, exhale back to center. And now take your left elbow to the outer part of your right knee, twist into the other side. Nice deep breaths. Good, exhale back to center. One more time, extend the legs out, shake out the knees a little bit. And then just come back to a comfortable seated position. Do a cat-cow flow. Take the hands to the knees, deep breath in. With your exhale, tuck the chin towards the chest as you arch back to cat back. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, heart comes forward, gaze to the ceiling in cow spine. Exhale back to cat back, and inhale to cow spine. A few more in this way, move with the breath. Two more. Good. Back to center. Shoulder and neck work. Take the palms facing down in your knees. Find that nice tall spine. Take a deep breath in. With your exhale, tilting left ear to left shoulder. Inhale back to center, exhale to the right side. Inhale back to center, exhale returning to the left side to hold. So tilting the ear towards the shoulder rather than lifting your shoulder to meet your ear. Try to also reach the muscles on the side of the neck up towards the ceiling for an isometric stretch. Settling back to the sits bones so the core muscles are engaged. Nice deep breaths here. If you'd like to increase in that stretch, extending your right arm out to the side, fingertips near the floor. Hand comes back to the knee. Inhale the head gently back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Deep, sweet breaths here. If you'd like to increase in that stretch, extending your left arm out to the side, fingertips near the floor. Hand comes back to the knee. Inhale the head gently back to center. Exhale, take the chin towards the chest. Inhale as you roll the right ear towards the right shoulder. Exhale, sweep the chin towards the chest over to the other side. Continue in this way, slow mindful movements of the neck, accompanied with a slow mindful breath. One more in each direction. Good, bring the head back to center. Take another deep breath in. With your exhalation, gaze up to the ceiling. Imagine you've got a paintbrush on the end of your nose, painting an arch or a rainbow, going side to side, or painting a smile in the sky, stretching the back of the neck in a mindful way, protecting in the vertebra. One more to each side. Good, bring the head back to neutral. Close the eyes if that's okay. We're going to take 3 integrating breaths. Try to invite your breath all the way up into the shoulders and the neck. Big inhale. Another big breath. One more nice deep breath. Good, extend the legs out, shake out your knees a little bit. We're going to transition to hands and knees and table position. So making your way up. We're going to line the wrist on the shoulders and the knees under the hips. So I've got space between the hands as well as the knees. Keep a little micro bend in the elbows. And if you need any support for your wrists, you can take your hands into fists. You could roll up something also to support underneath the heels of your hands. So see if you need any of that support. Cat-cow flow and eventually cat-cow child's pose flow. Take a deep breath in. With your exhalation, let's arch up into cat back. So press your belly button to the spine. The core will be engaged here in cat back. Lift the spine to the sky. And then exhale, tilt the tail up, gaze up to the ceiling, and then the belly can soften. Exhale, arching up to cat back. And inhale into cow spine. A few more times in this way. Last one. Hang here in cow for a couple breaths. Tilt the tail and the eyes up to the ceiling. Keep a micro bend in the knees, your elbows. Exhale, arch to cat back. Couple breaths. Take another deep breath in, and with your exhalation, we're going to rest back to child's pose. So take the buttocks towards the heels. Arms can be extended in front of you or alongside your body. If your forehead doesn't naturally reach, stack a couple hands on top of each other, a couple fists to rest the forehead upon. making modifications and variations for your body, and then once you get settled, yielding all of your weight into the earth as you sink into the breath. And then if your arms are not in front of you, extend them in front. We're going to move into a child's pose, cat-cow flow. So take a deep breath in child's pose. With your exhalation, we're going to press ourselves up into cat back. Inhale into cow, and exhale back to child's pose. Inhale here in child's pose. Exhale, cat back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, child's pose. I'll talk through it one more time. Inhale here in child's pose. Exhale, arch to cat back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, child's pose. 2 more flows on your own. And then when you come back to Balasana, we'll hang here for 4 more breaths. Good. With your next exhalation, walk the hands back towards your body. Bring the knees back towards each other. We're going to do a quick wrist stretch. So if you're okay to sit back on your heels, do it. If not, you could be up on your knees. And if you want to stretch for your foot fascia, then tuck those toes under. And then we're going to take our fingertips together, make bird's beaks with the hands. We're going to rotate our wrist around in circles. Good. Reverse directions, opposite way. All right, we're going to do a little bit more shoulder opening. So take your left hand kind of closer underneath your face. We're going to inhale the right arm overhead. Try to follow it with your eyes if you can. And then we're going to let that arm tuck under, threading the needle over onto our right shoulder and the right side of our head. Inhale, come back to table. And then exhale, lifting your left arm into the air and then thread the needle over onto the right side. So we're going to do this a couple more times to each side, finding a little bit of a flow. So let's flow one more time to each side, and then we're going to hold. Good. So come back to table, and then we'll go on our right side. So inhale as you extend that arm up towards the ceiling, and then exhale. Thread that hand through onto your right shoulder and the right side of your head. Left hand is at a 90-degree angle, so line your wrist below your elbow. We're going to start here. Sorry, I can't tell what you can see. I don't have eyes on the back of my head. Okay, so hanging here, if you want to take it a step further, you can lift your left arm into the air for a little more of a twist. You could also take that hand to your sacrum or tucking it into your right hip. So see, otherwise just keep it on the floor at a 90-degree angle. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. Take your left hand back to the floor, release and unthread the needle, and now we'll take it to the other side. So inhale, lift that left arm into the air, threading that through over to our left side. So right side is at a 90-degree angle. I've got my wrist below the elbow. So just hanging here, breathe into the back of the heart, opening up that upper back and the thoracic spine. Stay here if you'd like. If you want to try a variation, raising your right arm into the air. Or you can take that hand to your sacrum or tuck it into your left hip if you want a little twist. 2 more breaths. Good. Take the hand back to the mat. Unthread that side. Let's do 2 more cat-cows. This time we're going to inhale, cat back. Exhale, cow. Inhale, cat. And exhale, cow.
Let's do one more wrist stretch. So finding that placement that feels good to your body. And then we're going to, what do we do? We're going to interlace our fingers, making figure eights with hands and wrists. Gotta switch it up. And reverse directions, opposite way. All right. We're going to come into sunbird for our balancing pose today, and I'm going to offer a couple variations. So come to table. Okay, so the one thing that you could do if you're really new to yoga, or you're just don't want to do it too much today, just lift that right knee off the floor and take the right toes to the mat, so you're extending that leg from your body. So that's variation 1. Variation 2 is to lift that leg into the air. I prefer to look down to the mat to keep neck in alignment with the spine. Here also we want to lift our belly button to the spine. We want to try to have more of a flat back. We don't necessarily want an arch in our back here. So lift belly button to the spine, so we're engaging our core. Variation 3 is extend your left arm and front. Thumb will face towards the ceiling, palm towards the center midline. Okay, still breathing wherever you are. Last variation, grasping right ankle with left hand. Okay, so stay with the breath wherever you are. I'm going to come out of all of them and show them again. So here's another variation. Okay, and now we'll take that over to the other side. Extend your left toes back behind you. Variation 1. And this can kind of even just help you square your pelvis to the floor. Lift belly button to the spine, so we're engaging core already here. Variation 2. Lift that left leg. Try to square the hips. Find the breath. Variation 3, extend right arm into the air. Good. Variation 4, grasping left ankle. Stay with the breath, even if you're with me for this slight flow, slight series. Okay, going back to them. Full sunbird. Both hands on the mat. Tiptoes to the floor. And back to table. Good. Child's pose one more time, this time with widened knees. So take your knees wider than your hips. Big toes will come towards the center midline, releasing the buttocks back towards your heels. Forehead as close to the earth as possible. Deep, sweet breaths. You can make bird's beaks with your fingertips and angle them in towards your wrists if you want to do a little wrist stretch here as you hang in child's pose. Two more nice deep breaths. Good. Walk the hands back towards the body. Bring the knees back towards each other. We're going to come back onto our backs. Just do a quick time check. Oh, wow, sorry. Okay. All right, friends, my clock has been weird, so it's later than I thought. I don't have a clock. All right, feet are out towards the side edges or wider than your hips. Arms come out to a T. Let's sway the legs again side to side and move into that twist flow at your own pace. You want to go side to side a couple times and then move into the twist flow. One more to each side. Good. Let's end with Supta Baddha Konasana, recline butterfly. Take the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall out to the side. Here's where you could use blocks if you have them, or some kind of props underneath your knees. And then arms could be at a low V. They could be out to a T. You could have a hand on the heart and one hand on the belly. You could be in cactus arms. So I'm also going to offer, if you'd like to stay in this position for moving into Shavasana. I'm later than I anticipated. I apologize for my timing. But I will be moving into Shavasana very soon. So either take a few more breaths here and then move into Shavasana, or grab a blanket and be here in reclined butterfly for Shavasana. Three more breaths here. Alright, so moving towards Shavasana, final relaxation. Adding any socks or clothes if you could be more comfortable. Coming onto your back. Staying seated, putting your legs up the wall. Whatever feels best and most comfortable to you. Shavasana is an opportunity to allow us to integrate our practice into the body, mind, and spirit. With each breath, allowing that integration as you invite your whole self to stay in a peaceful state of relaxation. Gently bring your attention back to your breath. Deepening and lengthening in the breath. As you deepen your breath, inviting gentle movements to your body, wiggling fingers and toes, circling wrists and ankles. And if you'd like, extending legs out long, reaching arms overhead into a full body stretch. And then take some time over on your right side. Use your lower arm to support your head, taking a couple more relaxing breaths on your side. And then using the strength of hands, elbows, and arms, gently lifting yourselves up to a comfortable seated position. Close our practice this afternoon with one Om,
placing palms wherever is comfortable. Let's take a deep breath in to begin, please. Inhaling. Bringing the hands back to the heart center in Anjali mudra. We'll end by praying for peace with 1 Om, 3 Shantis, and 3 pieces. Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And we carry it into our worlds. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful 2021. I will be back for Tuesdays for gentle yoga. I'm also claiming the 3rd Sunday of every month for sound healing from 2 to 3:30 p.m. My website is KristenRubis.com. I've got all my info on there, and you can make donations through my website. I'm on Venmo, info@KristenRubis.com, and PayPal, krubylove@yahoo.com. Thank you all. Many blessings. Take wonderful care of yourselves. I'll see you next time.